Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, it is Wisdom of the Sages, your daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's a daily reading, a daily study of what in India is one of the most sacred literature. Gives direction, gives some light, helps give some light in this very sort of crazy world we live in. The Bhagavatam had predicted 5,000 years ago that, you know the verse, right, Kaustubha? Manda sumandam, right?
Matayo manda bhaga upadutaha.
Yeah, in this age of Kali, people have short lives. They are misguided. They are bent. They are broken. They are dented. It's something like that.
They imagine
They're
dented.
confused. They're lost. They're at each other's throats. What is it?
Above all, always disturbed, right?
Yeah, and above all, they're unfortunate, unlucky, misguided, and above all, they're always disturbed. It's one of the symptoms of kali-yuga. It's not like we're just, we're not physically fit. Even if we are physically fit, the minds are disturbed in kali-yuga more than anything. And even in the way of our technological advancement, we're even more disturbed. We're more disturbed. There's more on the mind. The mind gets no peace, no downtime, not a break out there. So we read the Srimad Bhagavatam every morning for our sanity. It helps keep the mind peaceful. Yoga, sacred literature, meditation, this stuff isn't like a good thing. This is like a necessity to deal with Kali-yuga.
Mental hygiene, right?
Huh?
Mental hygiene.
Mental hygiene. I just saw this. Prabhupada said something about like a quote about, I'm never going to find it. It was something like in an epidemic, you get a vaccine. Mm-hmm. Very timely, right? In an epidemic, you get a vaccine. The Srimad Bhagavatam and the Maha Mantra are like vaccines. Put all your anti-vaccine aside for a moment. Just think of it as a healing herb. It is the healing herb for this dark age of Kali-yuga. It brings light to a dark age. And I think that's why we have, what's our numbers today on Zoom?
110.
110. That's why we have 110 people waking up at 5 a.m. It becomes joyfully, sometimes they say, well, you just got to do it. You got to get out there to do it. If it's important enough, you will find a way. And when it's not, you will find an excuse, right? But it's not that way. It's not like we're trying hard to wake up at 5 a.m. We're spontaneously attracted to hearing the message of the Bhagavatam. We're excited to wake up for it. Mary used to be, before pandemic world, Mary used to just get in her car and drive over here. And she moved without my blessing. She moved away. She lived very close. And then she moved away without my blessings. You got to always ask for blessings in this culture. But she did it. But anyway,
she moved away? I didn't know that. You moved farther away?
Yeah, I'm about a half hour away.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
I know.
No wonder Raghunath didn't bless that.
I didn't bless that.
I still come every morning before the
I know she does. She comes, so she doesn't get the full effects of my curse. No, we're happy she comes. But just my point is, she drives far just to get here in the Bhagavatam. Yeah. And then Tom Essig, senior junior executive producer, drives very far pre-pandemic.
How far away is he?
Well, not that far, but you got to get in the car. You got to prepare yourself,
Okay, it's not far at all.
Well,
it's real close.
It's something. Just getting up early, just showing up at your computer is something at 5 a.m.
It's true.
So I want to appreciate everybody that's here. And you want to hear some interesting news about the podcast, Kaustubha? I just saw this. Our podcast is number 94 in Great Britain. It's charting in Great Britain.
All right, we're finding the charts.
It's in Canada. We're charting in Canada. Come on, Canadians, good job. 104 in the Netherlands. That's pretty
Is that
good.
like all podcasts, or is that like spiritual and religious?
It's we say like this. It's religion and spirituality.
Okay.
You got to put your left hand over your mouth. It's
Yeah,
religion and spirituality.
It's religion and spirituality.
Yeah. And it's 159. Check this out. It's number 57 in India.
All right, that's nice.
That's pretty cool. And 159 in Belgium. And 121 in
I want to pick up in Belgium. That's I'm not happy with that ranking.
Yeah, we're dropping in Belgium. What's going on there, Belgium? Come on. And then in 121 in, drum roll,
Yeah.
Eva, Poland. One of our listeners,
Oh, okay.
Polish. Apparently many of them. So anyway, that's good news. That we get that way if you write in and you get, you go to Apple Podcasts, give us that 5-star rating and write something about the podcast.
It gets it out more.
If you haven't done that, if you're on Zoom at least, you better darn do that. And if you're listening to Apple Podcasts, please do that. And do it today. You know why? Because the last one somebody posted was, podcast is good. Raghunath can get annoying. Hurtful. I'm a person. I have feelings.
And
I
you demand
that
they only respond with positive stuff.
Yeah, if you're gonna write well, like my mother said, if you've got nothing to say, don't say it. Got nothing good to say, don't say it. Well, she said something like, podcast is good. Raghunath can be annoying, but every now and then a nugget of wisdom comes in. It's like the old, it's a 3-legged cow, but he still gives milk.
Yeah. I'm willing to take it, because the wisdom is there.
Despite
they were just saying that they're saying that you're so wise that even though you may be annoying sometimes, it's worth it.
I guess it was a compliment.
Sometimes the medicine is hard to take, it's like that.
Yeah. Okay. Anything you want to share, Kaustubha?
No, I'm ready to dive in.
Okay, good.
And what we should say, I have something to say. We got we should announce our special guest this Sunday.
Oh yeah, we're really excited about Rukmini.
Rukmini Devi.
Rukmini Devi.
Pioneer of the Bhakti movement in the Western world.
Yeah, she got into Bhakti when she was 17 years old. I think she ran away from home.
Younger. It was
younger?
It may have been 15.
Mara, why don't you say?
What's that?
I'm getting your whole bio today, but why don't you say what?
It was either 15 or 16.
It was like 15 or 16. She ran away from home and went to Haight-Ashbury in 1967. And then she met Yamuna and all those super early, met Prabhupada, all those really early devotees in San Francisco. She got incredible history, artist.
If my 15-year-old daughter runs away, I'll kill her.
Raghunath, that's the kind of thing that you can't say.
Well, it's all like, yeah, that's so great. She ran away. How nice. She ran away, became a Hare Krishna. I was like, I've got a 15-year-old daughter. I will lose my mind if my daughter ran away. I've become my parents.
But anyway, she's got an incredible, just amazing person. She also runs, kind of heads up this Urban Devi.
Urban Devi, great name, Urban Devi.
Which is it's like a women's kind of bhakti group that was run out of the Bhakti Center, but now it's online for everybody, so like people can tune into that. So we'll share all that information. But she'll be a great guest.
On her Urban Devi retreats at Super Soul Farm.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we love her. And on an interesting side note, she's Gauravani, our famous great friend, Kirtan master, Gauravani's mom. So they actually travel around together, traveling around with their mom doing Kirtan. How incredible is that? Did you ever do that, Kaustubha?
Not yet.
Mara can do it with Papa Tony. Papa Tony's on the show every day. I want to see the Mara and Papa Tony Kirtan tour.
That'll be good.
He's very soft-spoken. He never speaks out, never shows his picture, but he's in there, Papa Tony. We're going to drag you out and show you off to the world one day.
I think he should just start the vegan, him and Mara together, vegan pizza thing.
Yeah.
Papa Tony's. Is that a real name of a pizza thing?
Papa Tony. I think there is a Papa Tony's.
Is that why I think that every time I hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, that's why you call him Papa Tony. Otherwise, he's just
no,
Tony.
he calls himself Papa Tony.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yeah, he's the Papa. He's got a bunch of kids. Anyway, you thought he was the original Papa Tony, huh?
Yeah.
You thought I was the original ragu tomato sauce too. Okay, let's start this thing. You're chasing squirrels today.
Set it
Come on
off.
back. Come
Set
on
it
back
off.
to the Bhagavatam. All right, we start with this sacred mantra glorifying God and the great souls ahead of us and the goddesses. Ready?
Yep.
Rayam nam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devam saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshvabhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the personality of Godhead, who is praised in transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Midatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Want to say it for me, Kaustubha?
The verse?
Yeah.
We are in Canto 1, Chapter 11, and it is text number 11. Oh, this is it, Raghu. This is your verse right here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is the
1:11:11.
numerology for all the numerologists out there. This is it. 1:11:11. As Bhagavati, the capital of Nagaloka, is protected by the Nagas, so was Dwarka protected by the descendants of Vrishni, Bhoja, Madhu, Dashara, Arha, Kukura, Andaka, etc., who were as strong as Lord Krishna. They're speaking as if we already know that. Just as Bhagavati, the capital of Nagaloka, is protected by the Nagas. Like everyone, that's like assumed knowledge.
Yeah, particularly when the Naga's like a race of snake people or something like that, right?
Hey, there's was like, don't go into snakes on this program, but I just want to share.
There we go.
No, it's not me saying this. It's the Bhagavatam saying this, that there is a planet of serpents, according to the Bhagavatam. And it's called Nagaloka. That's where they get this word Naga. And they're more like dragons.
Okay.
They're more like dragons. And they are on lower planets. And they're mainly inauspicious beings. Well, all these conspiracy theory talk about this reptilian people. Ever hear that?
Here we go.
I'm not saying it. I'm saying people talk about that.
You just went from Bhagavatam to conspiracy theorists.
Right.
You made a jump right there. I picked up on that.
Right.
Look at me silent now.
Let's go on.
He's like, am I allowed to talk?
There's just more to explore.
My heart has so much to share about this.
The Bhagavatam is very, very broad, and I think we should keep it narrow.
I agree.
I'm gonna go next. 1:11:12. I think that was a sign from some higher being to read that verse 1:11:11. And now you got me reading 1:11:12 already. The city of Dwarkapuri was filled with opulences of all seasons. There were hermitages, orchards, flower gardens, parks, reservoirs of water, and breeding lotus flowers all over the world.
Okay, now this is another one of those commentaries, particularly in the first canto. Srila Prabhupada's sitting in the Radha Damodar temple, right? He had that little room there.
Yeah,
you've been there, Raghu, right?
Love it.
And he's up at 1 a.m. writing this, in 1960 or something like that, so that the world could, when we're going through all the stuff that we're going through, because we are so misguided, we need to hear this stuff. Hit it, Raghu.
Sometimes we hear, first of all, I just want to share that we hear about these ancient cities. And we're like, really? They had reservoirs and gardens? Come on. They must have just been struggling for survival. No way. No way. Mohenjo-daro. Ever heard of Mohenjo-daro, Kaustubha?
Doesn't ring a bell.
It is one of those massive archaeological finds they found in Pakistan, which was part of Vedic culture. And it's one of those things, like, it's a super ancient, Wiki calls it one of the largest settlements in the Indus Valley civilization, one of the world's earliest major cities, contemporaneous with civilizations of ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, etc. Abandoned in the 19th century. I think they were using the they were around the Saraswati River, if I'm not correct. If I'm not, is that how you say it? Not correct? If I'm not wrong.
Correct.
If I'm not wrong.
Not mistaken.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting. These civilizations, we tend to believe like we are at the pinnacle of evolution. No way. All you got to do is go to Rome. They were bringing in water on these aqueducts from the springs up in the mountains for kilometers. It's unbelievable how these people thought, these real big empires thought. Okay, I get it. Keep reading. Perfection of human civilization is made possible by utilizing the gifts of nature in their own way, as we find herewith in the description of its opulence.
Just that word that he's using here, perfection of human civilization. How do we get to perfection of human civilization, right? I think we can all agree we're not there right now. So perfection of human civilization is made possible by utilizing the gifts of nature. Right? Big just clue there. We just got to get back to this. All right.
As we find herewith in the description of its opulence, Dwarka was surrounded by flower gardens and fruit orchards, right? Yeah. Fruit orchards. It's so simple. God's made it so simple. Plants, fruit trees, they give you fruit.
It's healthy. It's delicious.
It's good for you.
It's good for you. It's totally satisfying.
And it gives fruit that have magical seeds inside that grow other fruit trees.
It's perfect.
Can God have made it any more simple?
It's true.
No, we're going to import these from Mexico. We're going to fly these in from Canada.
Spray some chemicals on them.
Spray some stuff on it. What's that going to do? What could go wrong there? Anything with the word pesticide, herbicide, fungicide, right? Anything with side in it ain't good. There is no mention of mills and factories supported by slaughterhouses, which are the necessary paraphernalia of modern metropolis. What's wrong with mills?
You know, the ones that are polluting the rivers and all that.
Oh.
In other words, you can grow your own cotton, and then you can spin it on a loom, and everything's fine. Or you can create this huge mill that's polluting the rivers to like.
Well, yeah, I gotta look into that because that water power is powerful. But you know, all the creeks up here, there's mills.
It's not mean like windmill. It means like these massive factories that produce.
Maybe that's what it means. Maybe someone can. I'm gonna dig into that because mills. They use the power of the water. There's mills all around here. All these towns, upstate New York, Catskill, Peekskill. There are all these skills or all these Dutch words for where the water's running fast, and then they capture that water power and they use it for, to store power. But with it came a lot of massive pollutants in the river. I'm going to see if the mills. I guess it depends what they're manufacturing. By the way, I'm working on Vandana Shiva as a guest. You know Vandana Shiva? She's amazing.
Yeah, but you shouldn't talk about that on the show because, you know, you talk about it once you get there.
Conversation.
Not before you even approach.
I thought we were private. People are listening to this. Whenever my wife ever gets in an argument with me, I say, hey, I'm on Zoom right now. Everybody can hear you. It is understood that the whole...
Hold it.
Oh, the leaders of modern civilization select their own residential...
No.
The propensity to utilize nature's own gifts is still there, even in the heart of modern civilization. The leaders of modern civilization select their own residential quarters in a place where there are such naturally beautiful gardens and reservoirs of water. but they leave common men to reside in congested areas without parks and gardens. Herein, of course, we find a different description of the city of Dwarka. It is understood that the whole dham, or residential quarter, was surrounded by such gardens and parks with reservoirs of water where lotuses grew. It is understood that all the people depended on nature's gifts of fruits and flowers without industrial enterprises promoting filthy huts and slums for residential quarters. Advancement of civilization is estimated not on the growth of mills and factories to deteriorate the finer instincts of the human being. Oh, this is good.
I know.
But on developing the potent spiritual instincts of human beings and giving them a chance to go back to Godhead.
That's the mic drop sentence right there, right? Advancement of civilization is estimated not on the growth of mills and factories to deteriorate, and this is the point, to deteriorate the finer instincts of the human being, right? You're living in that atmosphere. You're working in that atmosphere every day. You know, in that finer part of you, you begin to lose touch with. You know, you become callous and insensitive and crude and lazy and cruel and so many things, you know. Whereas if we're in touch with nature, you know, if we're regularly feeling that connection, naturally, you know, we become more wise, more kind, more thoughtful. You know, it's like that.
Here's a good word.
More in touch with God. Yeah.
So here's a good word that everyone should know after this. The development of factories and mills is called ugra-karma.
Ugra-karma.
What a great word.
Yeah.
I tried to start a band called Ugra-karma once. It didn't pan out. But I love that phrase. Ugra-karma means horrible works. Prabhupada calls it pungent activities. Just like if you ever drive through the Holland Tunnel.
Huh?
Ever drive through the Holland Tunnel and just see all these factories pumping soot in the sky, and like it's just like that's ugra-karma. Whenever you drive by, you should just go ugra-karma. Horrible works meant to destroy the world. Or pungent activities, and such activities deteriorate the finer sentiments of the human being and society to form a dungeon of demons.
Whoa.
Shoosh. Right? What have we done? Ever just like walk around and just go, what have we done to this planet? Like, this is what we're going to leave behind to our people? You know, some people left pyramids.
Okay. Yeah.
Some people left the Colosseum, right? We're leaving like malls, deteriorating strip malls. What have we created? Okay, next verse.
You're going to skip the rest of the commentary?
Wasn't that it?
No, there's more.
I must have... What? Oh, I'm sorry. We find herein the mention of pious trees, which produce seasonal flowers and fruits. Isn't that interesting? A pious tree.
They give more.
We find here in the mention of pious trees, the impious trees are useless. Useless jungles only, and they can only be used to supply fuels. In the modern civilization, such impious trees are planted on the sides of roads. Isn't that interesting? Just like there's a hierarchy of species, there's a hierarchy of trees. But I've heard actually farmers talk about this. Some trees actually have incredible use. I think there's a different way to look at it, though. You know, there's sort of, because they might have it's like the different types of intelligences. They might not have a use for fuel, but they have a use for something else.
Sure.
They have a use medicinally. But nonetheless, there are different hierarchies of trees. There's hierarchies. Human energy should be properly utilized in developing the finer senses for spiritual understanding, in which lies the solution of life. Fruits and flowers, beautiful gardens, parks and reservoirs of water with ducks and swans, playing in the midst of lotus flowers, cows giving sufficient milk and butter. A cow gave butter. Are
Not directly.
Not directly? That would be good. And cows giving sufficient milk and butter are essential for developing the finer tissues of the human body. As against this, the dungeons of mines, factories, and workshops develop demoniac propensities in the working class. The vested interests flourish at the cost of the working class, and consequently, there are severe clashes between them in so many ways. The description of Dwarkadam is the ideal human civilization.
So the ideal human civilization is that human beings, instead of seeing themselves as the center of everything and exploiting everything, they live in harmony with nature. They live in harmony with the animals. Right? That's the key.
You know, if I'm going to do real menial work, I'd much rather it be outside than in like the Ford factory putting together headlights for a car on an assembly line.
Sure. You'd rather be, you know, like having your hands in the earth and petting a cow.
Splitting wood, you know, rustling up the sheep, you know,
You like rustling up the sheep, don't
scything the lawn. Like that picture you sent me. The man with the scythe beats the guy with the weed whacker.
That wasn't me. And you know, I'm not sure who that was because it didn't have their name on it. Someone sent that to us.
Someone sent to us.
Yeah.
I think because I was talking about scythes the other day. Anyway.
But you feel that connection with your animals, right? Like all the sheep.
Just
and everything.
animals, earth, everything. Just working outside. I mean, I love bhakti. Don't get me wrong. I love bhakti. I love yoga. I like talking. I like kirtan. I love working outside. There is nothing better than working till exhaustion outside.
But I'm talking about the
Almost
animals.
like everybody who goes to a gym. I wish I could harness that energy.
Right?
Like on a treadmill, just like harness it and hold that energy and like just put it to practical use. Clip, cut, prune, steward the land.
Steward. Nice. But tell me, you have this relationship with the sheep there, right? Like Madhu?
Yeah, we have beautiful sheep. We love them. I really love our sheep. Sheep are special. They're like cows in the sense like they're incredibly innocent
Peaceful.
and they're completely vulnerable. So they just need to be loved.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have a new rule with the sheep. They get free reign of the entire property. They just roam. We let them do whatever they want. But truthfully, they love to be tended to because they were hand-fed as babies. So they look to it. They look to us as parents. Super affectionate. And they don't bite. Okay. Shall we go on?
Yep.
Am I being annoying today, like that review said?
No, not at all.
Mayor's like, nah, a little bit.
Like that review. That one's really got you.
It's haunting me. You could get 1,000 good things, and then one person says, annoying guy. Carrying that thing around me all day. Annoying. Here I am being annoying again. The city gateway of the household doors and festooned arches. Another Bhagavatam word I've never said before outside the Bhagavatam. Festooned arches, along with the roads, were nicely decorated with festive signs like plantain trees and mango leaves, all to welcome the Lord. Flags, garlands, and painted signs and slogans all combine to shade the sunshine. That's the thing about village life, Kaustubha, right? When you go to these places where they're actually having a festival, they decorate it, but not with these crappy stuff you get from Walmart.
Right, plastic stuff.
Yeah, just beautiful mango leaves or ashok leaves,
Flowers.
fruits. What's that called? What's that stuff called when they do the rice designs? Where's a DT when you need her?
Why can't I think of it?
They make these beautiful mandalas. Rangoli with colored rice. Did you learn that, Mara?
No.
What do you know? What did you learn in that private school? You didn't learn Rangoli. You didn't learn Bharatanatyam. Can you play the cartels?
No.
Tony, you got to go back to that private school and say, listen, you got to upgrade that education over there.
I think we had a Rangoli class at the Bhakti Center once.
It's very cool. It's beautiful.
The Mangalarti teaches that. She does that, you know? It's a system, you know, you make you put all these little dots of the rice flour in like a grid pattern. And then there's just ways that you connect the grids and then you can make these beautiful designs.
On another private note between us three, everybody hold your ears for a second. When I say something like Rangoli, Mara, you know what you could do? You could Google search Rangoli and then do a screen share and then undo it. Like they do in Joe Rogan. He'll say, yeah, check this out. And he'll pull up something and put it on the screen. I'm just trying to maybe this should be in a private meeting, but that would be cool, wouldn't it?
All right.
That's what it would be.
Any other private things you want to share now publicly in front of 150 people live? Okay. Alrighty.
Anyway, it's this is just showing that natural. We were talking about this yesterday about how festivals and everything you step in, and it's beautifully decorated with all these natural ingredients, and everybody feels enlivened and everybody feels good. It's good psychologically, you know.
Sure. Stewarding the earth. This is an interesting one. The highways, the subways, the lanes, the markets, and the public meeting places were all thoroughly cleansed and then moistened with scented water. And to welcome the Lord, fruits, flowers, and unbroken seeds were strewn everywhere. What am I going to say, Kaustubha?
About the subways?
Yeah, there's subways.
No,
you know what they are? Oh,
What?
they call the Mahamargs, which means the great streets.
Yeah.
The marg is like a street. But the ratyas, the lanes and subways.
So that, I think that means like that. Maybe it means the alleys and stuff like that. Like not the highway, but the subway. Like it's not the big road, but like the side road or something like that. That would be my guess. What that subway means there.
Okay.
I doubt it means underground.
Not like the F train.
I don't think it means the F train.
You know, it's interesting too. I think in these tropical places, because it gets dusty in the hot seasons, they spray down the roads with scented water. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. People are getting into this, like going around squirting you with some rose water and stuff now, right?
Where? In India?
I just see people picking up on it, people that are into aromatherapy and stuff like that. Like Madhu's
in America. In America. Yeah, I'm always getting squirted.
Yeah.
Just walking up to me on the street randomly.
But you know, I remember like one of my first times going to Vrindavan.
You guys
Well, we went out on this Harinam. It was like, like we're going out to do kirtan in the streets. And before going out, like everybody gave a garland of marigolds. And then they took this, on a marigold flower, they took sandalwood paste and they put that across the forehead, which is very fragrant. And then they somehow sprayed you down with like this rose water or something like that. And it was just like, it was like really super like beautiful.
The people you were with or just random people in the street?
It was like the temple, the Krishna Balaram temple had kind of organized the whole thing. So I think they probably put it together.
Oh.
But it's just like, we're going to go out and chant, but it was like to put you in this state of mind beforehand too. It's just like, it was beautiful,
It's amazing how flower garlands they're everywhere. Most Americans will never wear a flower garland.
Are they everywhere or are they not? I don't get it.
Meaning in India. In India, they're everywhere.
India.
It's just part of culture. It's just like, It's like a staple. Everyone's got flower. You always see flower garlands everywhere.
Flowers.
If you're a person practicing bhakti, you probably have about 11 hanging around your yard in the trees or something, old ones or in a book or something like that.
It's an opulence.
It's an opulence.
And in our society, it shows how, in some sense, we're not opulent, that we don't have like flowers. You want to buy flowers. It's like so expensive. It's like crazy.
Everything is concrete.
Yeah.
Nothing's
flowers growing all over the place.
Nothing's fresh. People just eating tater tots, cooking out of a box. Come on. Have we lost our very our essential humanness? Tater tots?
You got to think about tater tots.
It's just like, it's one of those things. Like, just cut up a potato, man.
Yeah, cut the potato. Yeah, what's the
Cut
problem?
it up. Just cut up a potato.
Yeah. Prabhupada's talking about scented waters right here in the beginning.
Scented water is prepared by distilling flowers like rose and kiora, were requisitioned to the wet roads and the lanes of Dwarkadam. Such places along the marketplace and public meeting places were thoroughly cleansed from the above description. It appears that the city of Dwarkadam was considerably big, containing many highways, like the New York State Thruway, streets and public meeting places with parks, gardens, and reservoirs of water. all very nicely decorated with flowers and fruits. And to welcome the Lord, such flowers and fruits with unbroken seeds of grain were also strewn all over the public places. Unbroken seeds of grain or fruits in the seedling stage were considered auspicious, and they are still so used by the Hindus in general on festival days.
Like when they throw rice at a wedding or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? You know who really holds it together with big Hindu festivals is Bali. Have you ever been to Bali, Kaustubha?
No, I haven't.
Mara?
Nope.
Incredible. They throw festivals too. Same thing. Incredibly opulent, decorative, like streamers made of leaves and things like that. And they just haven't lost touch with that culture yet. All right. Same thing about perfumes. All these perfumes are coming from these, distilled rose petals, or sort of have like oud. We did a whole thing on oud once, which is a guru, like the ways they get it in sandalwood. And it's just such an art to get these things. And what do we have now? We've lost touch with real, authentic perfumes. You could just study your whole life, this Vedic science of making perfumes. All we have is these cheap chemical perfumes put in expensive bottles. You want to talk any more about perfumes?
I don't know a lot about perfumes.
Anybody gonna jump in this conversation with me?
But I do know that all that stuff, it all has like purposes. Some of them heat you up and they're good for the cool weather. Some of them cool you down. They're good for the hot weather. That they stimulate different things in the body that are healthy. They can be therapeutic. And
yeah, it's not just random. Also,
that's why like flowers. Flowers. Most of our flowers in the West now, they don't have very much scent at all because of the way that they're grown.
Carnations, hate them.
The scents come from the earth, right?
Yeah,
and they all have value, but we're just out of touch with that stuff.
Yeah. In each and every door of the residential houses, auspicious things like curd. Check the
Meaning yogurt.
Unbroken fruits, sugar cane, and full water pots with articles for worship, incense, and candles were all displayed. Curd means yogurt.
Yeah. Not
paneer. That's how the British say it, right?
Curd. No, they don't. We established that one time here.
Didn't you and I already got into this argument?
Well, you brought it up, and we checked in with maybe it was Buckmanji or someone from England checked in, and they said no.
They call it yogurt. It's the Indians then. The Indians call yogurt curd. Yeah. Okay. On hearing that the most dear Krishna was approaching Dwarkadam, magnanimous Vasudeva, Akrura, Ugrasena, Balaram, the superhumanly powerful, Pradyumna, Charudeshna, and Samba, the son of Jambavati, all extremely happy, abandoned resting, sitting, and dining. So Krishna's coming in, and everybody just stopped and just ran. Krishna's here. Krishna's here. And they just gave up everything, just ran to Krishna coming in. And Prabhupada goes in the purports and he starts to explain who's who.
Yeah.
Should we go into that?
If you like.
Let's talk about Akrura. I like Akrura.
Akrura is a fascinating character, huh?
He is. He was the one that took Krishna he was sent by Kamsa to bring Krishna away from Vrindavan. The commander-in-chief of the Vrishni dynasty, Akrura, was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Akrura attained success in bhakti by the single process of offering prayers. He was the husband of Sutani, daughter of Ahuka.
Sutani is the daughter of Ahuka.
Sutani was the daughter of Ahuka. I was like, he was a daughter? He supported Arjuna, and Arjuna took Subhadra forcibly away by the will of Krishna. Both Krishna and Akrura went to see Arjuna after a successful kidnapping of Subhadra. Both of them presented dowries to Arjuna after this incident. Akrura was present also when Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra, was married to Uttara. mother of Parikshit Maharaj. Ahuka, the father-in-law of Akrura, was not on good terms with Akrura. That's all father-in-laws. But both of them were devotees of the Lord. This, if you're into the Mahabharata and these characters, you know what's interesting about these characters when you read the Puranas? They all have a massive backstory, which is almost means like, to me, when I read that, it's like, you can't make this stuff up because they're real people. They actually have a real story. Just like if I'm telling a story about your life, Kaustubha, you know, I could go on and on because you're a real person. You have relationships. Your relatives have relationships. You had a childhood. You've done so many things in your life because you're a real person. It's not like we're just creating a small story. These are real people. And the more you hear about this, the more you're like, why are they telling us all these superfluous things? And it's not superfluous, it's just that they're real people. And you can go on and on with it forever. That's why you can read a Mahabharata that is, 400 pages, or you can read one that's 1,000 pages, or you can read one that's 3,000 pages, because you're dealing with real people's lives, and you can always color in their lives even more. So if you're reading a massive Mahabharata, which is 100,000 couplets, Sanskrit couplets, it just colors the picture in more.
A lot of detail fills in, yeah.
A lot of details, a lot of backstory. Like I can give a little 3-sentence bio about Kaustubha, or I can write the Kaustubha, Maha autobiography.
I don't think you can write my autobiography.
Oh yeah, because auto means you have to write it about yourself. Okay, Jesse.
I get your point.
Coagulation.
What's going on, Raghu?
I'm reading that chat board. Jesse's trying to school me up on some curd here.
Okay.
Well, what we call curd in America is paneer, which you make by putting some lemon and some milk, and then you get the curds and the whey. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go on.
Okay.
I'm feeling a little annoying today. They hasten towards the Lord on chariots. It's bugging me. I read it right before I got on the show. They hasten towards the Lord on chariots with brahmanas hearing the flower. They hasten towards the Lord on chariots with brahmanas bearing flowers. I thought it said hearing flowers. Before them were elephants, emblems of good fortune. Conch shells and bugles were sounded, and Vedic hymns were chanted. Thus they offered their respects, which were saturated with affection.
You know what this is reminding me of, Raghunath? When we traveled to Mayapur, right?
Yeah.
And it's the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya. And it's this, beautiful community there, like large community. Currently, they're building one of the largest temples in the world.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of a jungle. They've got the Vatican. It looks like some beautiful.
Yeah. And so there's an incredible development that's growing around that. And they have beautiful elephants there, right? What? You don't remember the elephants?
No, I remember the elephants. Of course you remember the elephants.
Okay.
What's great about Mayapur is they do a parade every Saturday.
That's what I'm talking about. You say like that you just came up. That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah. Okay. Go.
No, you go ahead. I can see that But that parade, this reminds me of that parade. Like every Saturday, what do they do on Saturday? Right? They in the Indian temples, temples all around the world, but they have large, the large forms of Radha and Krishna. And then they also have the small forms. And those small forms are meant for special ceremonies so that you can actually take Radha and Krishna and bring them out on the elephant, right? And so the Gurukula, the boys from the school, which is like this super cultured school where you learn all about Vedic, lifestyle.
Yeah. It's like lost in time almost.
Yeah. And so they come out and they dress in their special way. They wrap this certain kind of turban around their head, and they get up on the elephant and they take Radha and Krishna and put them on the elephants. And then, there's kirtan going with them, and it's starting to get, the sun's going down, it's starting to get dark, and everybody's carrying these torches.
It's incredible. I mean, it's incredible. We were with a bunch of people from the show here. Mara was there. Moga was there. Noah and Scylla were there. Ashley was there. And we were just like, it's like Saturday night. What do you want to do on Saturday night? Let's go to the parade.
Yeah.
And there's this massive kirtan parade with deities and elephants. And it's like, that's what you do for fun on Saturday night.
And as it's going around, it stops at different places, and then people have that rangoli. They make. It's like, I'm going to make this design on the ground, colorful, beautiful design, incredible designs. Remember the designs they're making? It's like
Yes.
kind of a modern rangoli. Like it's even more like stylish and everything.
You know what? It's all different. You know, Kaustubha brings up this point. The material world offers so many different types of enjoyment. As you dive into bhakti, the enjoyment becomes more and more refined. We're talking about this already. Perfumes, cooking, right? Dance. It gets more and more refined, and then it crosses the line and comes out of this world where it gets no ego. It's all about offering, right? The food is meant as an offering.
That's
The
the point.
scent is meant as an offering. The cooking is meant as an offering. You know, the art is meant as an offering. The parade is meant as an offering. It's all an offering. It goes from being like, this is good. This is getting more and more refined. The music is meant as an offering. It gets more and more refined. Material life, it just gets more and more thick and heavy and self-centered and dark. It can go to a dark place quick.
It's competitive. You know, it's always trying to outdo someone else. Whereas there's one center here, and everybody's working towards it.
I'm gonna share with you. Yesterday was May the 4th be with you. Now I never got into Star Wars. I just never did. Generally, my kids try to get me to watch it, and I fall asleep. So I said, you know what? I'm going to answer emails, and I'm going to sit there and watch because that's the only way I won't fall asleep. So I watched two Star Wars. We had a little Star Wars thing because it was. You may not know this, but it was a Star Wars festival day yesterday, Kaustubha.
I caught on to that.
You caught on with everybody adding a lightsaber to their blah, blah, blah. So anyway, and they were good. I was actually completely engaged in the whole thing. But, you know, as soon as my head hit the pillow, and it was family, we were snacking together and hanging, and it was fun. But, you know, I went to bed at night, and there was just like images of these grotesque demon faces and Sith lords, and I can't even describe. Everybody's a mechanical, the crab machine guy. It was like the General Crab. I don't know any of the names. The guy looked like a crab machine. All these things. It's like, these are the images in my mind I'm going to bed with. It's just not sweet baby Krishna. That's my usual training of going to bed. I sit there, I meditate on Krishna, a yellow dhoti, a smiling face. He's eating a little food. He's got a flute stuck in his belt. That wasn't in my face. It was some robot demon.
Robot team. Yeah, well, you know, that I think so you're saying you'd rather go to this parade and think of that.
I want to go to the parade. Yeah. Let's go to a parade, a transcendental parade. It's just like even our sweet ways of enjoying family time has become like, it's all got this dark element to it. It's always murderous and mechanical robots.
Not these beautiful elephants. Now, if you take that parade, let's just get into this parade, Raghu, okay? Because it's like every Saturday night, so it's like a big deal. Everyone's waiting for it, right?
Yeah.
Now, they have these elephants. Now, actually, these elephants are cared for so well. They're award-winning care that they have there for the elephants in Mayapur. It's a really impressive thing. And because the people that are caring for the elephants, they don't just see that as just some beast that's like lower than them, that has, you know, they see it as there's a soul in there just like us. And this soul is just like us. They're devoted to God. You know, these elephants are God's elephants. You know, they see them like that.
Just like Danielle Brigham's dog right now. Look at that. Your dog.
And then everybody is contributing in different ways. You know, like some people are the pujaris, like the priests in the temple. They're getting everything together and you know, putting all their energy into it. There's the people that do the kirtan. They're gathering their instruments. They're coming. They're excited. You know, not excited because, oh, I'm going to be on the stage and it's going to be a big deal. You know, they're excited because we get to offer this, you know, We get to offer
Sure.
to Radha and Krishna. And,
Sure.
and then people, like you're saying, they're cooking, just like what's being said in these verses. People are coming out with different offerings. So they stop the elephant, you know, and the music is going on, and now it's getting dark, and everybody's got the torches, and they come forward, and right where the Rangoli is, the elephant stops. You know, the deities can look down at the Rangoli, who's someone, you know, they spent the whole afternoon making this like incredible design. You know, everybody that's walking past it is looking and saying, wow, look at all that devotion that was put into that, and feeling it in their own heart, you know. And then the elephant stops and the offering is made, the music's going on. Okay, and then, you know, everyone's gathered around in that area, and it's exciting. And then the elephants start moving again.
Sure.
Kirtan goes on more.
You know, all these refined arts, Kaustubha, but you know, what you're saying is all these refined arts, the Rangoli, those beautiful rice drawings, the music, the chanting of these sacred mantras, just the learning of Sanskrit itself, the cooking that goes, the cooking and the offerings, and all the current of it all is a loving offering. Whereas the current of if I have some great talent, a great artist, a great speaker, a great musician, a great logician, whatever it is, I probably would never say logician if it wasn't for the Bhagavatam also. A great magician, whatever you're great at, it generally goes right back to my ego.
Yeah.
And in Bhakti, it's a new shift. You don't have to give up your greatness. You're great. You just get the ego out of the way, and you really train yourself to do it as an offering to divinity. And then it becomes quite beautiful.
It's like the entire culture is designed to shift the current of our loving offering, right? Shift it. And everybody's doing it. They say, like, if you take like lots of, like a handful of pebbles and you throw them onto, like, you know, a pond, then all of those rings that are coming from each pebble when it hits the water, they're all conflicting.
Right. There's just like the expanding ripples were banging into each other, you mean?
Yeah. So there's you know, like what's the word I'm looking for? The friction, or whatever you want to say. Like they're working against each other. Whereas if they're dropped in the same spot, then there's a beautiful harmony to it. And so this spiritual culture was to create that kind of harmony. That's what the temple was, you know. Like the temple was, okay, we're all connected to our divine source, Radha and Krishna. Let's put them in the center, and let's all shift the current of our loving offering in that way. And then naturally we feel love for each other, because we're not competing with one another. We're not trying to establish ourselves as the center. And it's actually a formula for happiness, you know, and beauty and so on. So I think that, you know, that parade is just one example of how that works so well. You know, there's a real culture going on. That this culture that we're reading about here in Dwarka 5,000 years ago is really what Srila Prabhupada was trying to recreate, and we can see it being recreated in a place like Mayapur. And you know, and if as a community, as a bhakti community, if we can learn to live this way, people see the beauty in it, people are attracted to it, and people want to recreate their own worlds in this way too, their own towns and cities and so on.
You know, there's a culture also, I'm going to talk about it in the purport a little bit, but there's a culture that I never even thought about, but there's a culture of welcoming somebody.
Yeah.
And there's a culture of when someone departs.
Yeah.
That when you practice bhakti, it's like a real thing. You want to, because our idea is you're practicing appreciation. You know, someone comes to your house, hey man, what's up? But welcome. Like when I come to your house, your wife is always like, Raghu, we're so happy to see you. Please sit down. Would you like something to drink? You know, it's like a culture of bhakti. It's a culture of devotion, a culture of love. And it's almost like, especially in America, like we've lost it. Where if someone rings our doorbell, we're like, what the hell? Who's here? What's up? It's not like, hey, you're here. Come on in. And it's when someone leaves, I remember Shelter was on tour when we were brahmacharis, monks. And we were, Parvin probably remembers, we're at some like Hungarian or Polish farm of people practicing bhakti. And we stayed there one night. And they just made us feel so welcome. And as we're leaving, driving away from this farm, the whole community is like waving to us, throwing flowers
so sweet,
at the van, singing kirtan. One time we played in Rio de Janeiro, And we had no idea, but all the devotees welcomed us in the airport with a big kirtan. I mean, you feel so loved and welcome. It's a culture of and even if you don't have a lot, you can always make somebody feel welcome. The current of everything we do is bhakti. It's not competition. It's not to crush the competition. I hate that word when people say, I'm going to crush it. I'm going to crush it. It's to love it. I want to love it. I want to love. It's been lost in our life, in the conversation.
Things like etiquette, culture in general is meant to generate this kind of mind, right? This kind of mood, this kind of heart, right? And it's reflected in all the ritual, like the ritual again, and the puja is like saying, here, please, you're like a guest here, please stay, please accept this offering, accept that offering. It's the way that we're meant to invite God to stay within our own mind or within our own heart. And it plays out in how we treat a guest, how we welcome someone to our town, how we respond when someone leaves. All of these things are meant to culture, imbibe in us a softer, kinder, purer heart. And it's in that heart that the love for God grows. And it doesn't just grow by aligning oneself with a particular religion. It's not just like, okay, I accept this and now I'm saved. It's actually that there has to be a change of heart. And the culture is meant to facilitate, help that change of heart. And it plays out in all of it, right?
And when you see that divinity and you create that divinity, then it naturally will extend to treating everybody as if God is in their heart, because God is in their heart.
Yeah.
And that's what actually breaks down all the walls here. That's what breaks down the lines between ashrams and mosques and temples and synagogues, is you start to see, oh, I get it. Everybody's on a spirit, and people who don't even have any faith whatsoever, you still see them as children of divinity. And therefore you want to treat people, even if they're different than you, not like you, even if they don't like you, you see them and you become like hateless, because you learn that everyone is just on a path. Everyone's just struggling in this world. And all I'm here to do is reach out my hand, give some love, and see some divinity where previously I just saw us and them.
That wasn't annoying at all, Raghu. That was beautiful.
Well, good. I had to end on a non-annoying note today.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for joining us. And thanks for that crazy Zoom message board going out of control.
I didn't even see the
If you're
message board
listening
today.
on Apple Podcasts, now's the time to go right to that phone and write a positive review. Don't mention anything annoying I did. Only mention the good things. See the good in others, people. That's our motto today. See the good in others. That's my tattoo. Everybody joining us on Zoom that I didn't say hello to, well, hello. Also, if you want to get on Zoom, if you want to hang out with us on Zoom and join our secret club, you can get the secret passcode from Mara at wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com. Welcome to all the newbies who are joining us. We do this every day, Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. And Saturday and Sunday is Sleep-In Saturday and Sunday, where we welcome all the Californians. Patreon. Gotta mention Patreon. Join our Patreon group. We have lots of cool classes we do for members. We have a cool community that talk all day about different stuff like cooking and music and things like that. And it's a great way to show your support for me and Kaustubha doing this thing, and all the people that help out like Mara and Tom and our cool group of friends here. Thanks everybody for supporting us. It's community supported podcast. We really appreciate it. Now is my favorite time of the day. This little ritual we do motivates me and inspires me for the rest of the day. It is my superfood. It's called Make It a Namaste, and then lip syncing to your favorite kirtan.
There goes Mahesh. He's going off.
Oh my God, Mahesh. He's calling Shiva into his life, into his heart.
Hey, tomorrow's a big day too, Raghu. Raghu,
What's that?
tomorrow's a big day.
Tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow?
Yeah.
What's tomorrow?
The
Nisringa.
Nisringa Chaturdashi.
Tomorrow is a special day. Tomorrow, Nisringa Chaturdashi. We're having a special Nisringa Dev class. Don't miss our Nisringa Dev class tomorrow. The man-lion avatar of Vishnu. We're going to tell some cool stories. Clifford Dean losing his material mind. Come on. Good morning, Mr. Noah.